welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. It's my podcast.
And I'm her
only.
assistant. I am your assistant and husband, Moshe Kasher here.
That's what our child does, everything. She goes, mine.
Yeah,
mine.
she is into
She grabs
that.
my hair and says, mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not your hair. And then the other day she told you something was hers and you're like, nothing's yours. I own everything.
I did. I told her, you own nothing. I own everything. We purchased all of this out of a joint checking account. And so the notion that you think things are yours, an absurd notion.
I hear you.
How you doing there, Tosh?
I'm a little on edge.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that time.
I wish it was just that time of the month.
It's that time of the era.
It's that time. It's the end of days, however they say it.
Well, it's not the end of days.
I mean, it's all coming.
You think so?
Kind of.
How bad do you think it's going to get?
I mean, it's just the beginning of the era that takes us down before there's like regeneration, like there'll be something new in another lifetime.
Wait, do you actually think that the world is ending?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
I don't know, kind of.
The world's not ending. This is a part.
I just think like whenever like something, okay.
This is a part of the biological reality of being alive on Earth. Pandemics, viruses mutating, viruses infecting. That is a biological imperative of living in this ecosystem. It has always been true. It will always be true. There's no way to ever stop it. It's not possible to ever get beyond viruses because they always mutate. And we'll always be dealing with this.
But the whole world is on lockdown.
But that
is very scary because people are going to freak out.
It's super scary. But it was scary in 1918. It was scary during the bubonic plague.
Different now. And then look who our president. It's like a joke. His name is Trump. He bullies everybody. He hates immigrants. His wife is an immigrant. She just went in front of their tennis court or whatever, tennis pavilion to say that she hates bullying. Why is everyone bullying? I mean, like everything is like, if you put that in a script, it went about the end of the world, end of days, Kali Yuga, whatever you want to call it. Like the Hindus say, like, that's like, we're entering this phase now where everything's just like gonna just degenerate.
Wait, the Hindus predict that the world will end at a certain phase?
No, not like at a certain time, but just there'll be an era where like it's people take over and it's just about money and it's.
Is Kali Yuga what Dalsim used to scream in the video game Street Fighter 2?
I hope.
That's
cool.
That was a joke, not particularly for you, Natasha. That was a video game joke.
I did like the other day, though, I put a bunch of stuff into your video game room, and you were like, you need to get this stuff out of here, because I'm going to get ready for some video games.
Well, I did think, I had a thought that online video gaming, it's funny that you're more thinking much more broad and existentially, like we're coming into Kali Yuga, the final phase of humanity, and I'm like, I got to find a cool video game to get on PlayStation Live with my homies and play some fun games and beat some worlds. I can see the world, by the way, as the world gets more and more negative and gross outside, specifically with climate change, and virtual reality technology gets better and better. You can definitely see the world in which people, the kind of Ready Player One world where people just kind of lock down, don't leave the house, and do everything fun in a kind of holodeck kind of world. But I'm not worried.
I already thought that was going to happen. And now you add this like contagion to it. It's just everything just feels like going out in public is insane. Like we're on like day 3, I guess.
Well, look, I'm not trying to downplay how scary this is. This is terrifying. I'm scared too. I just went and got gas for my RV just in case. And I felt like I was in a secret mission. I was arguing with my friend Brant about how seriously to take this, because you and I have been taking the self-isolation and very seriously. And
I went to a hike today with someone and we stood 6 feet apart up a mountain. I thought that was fun.
Right. And I was arguing with him about it, and he feels differently. And a lot of people right now, we are noticing that a lot of people right now are dealing with how much they want to commit to the reaction to this thing. And then the great question is like, does it really matter? Like, if we're right that things are going to get really bad, then we will really, really be grateful that we took decisive action when we did. if we are wrong and it doesn't get really bad, then it will really, really not matter that we took decisive action when we did. If you're listening and you are, one of the people that was like partying in Tennessee or going to a St. Patrick's Day frat party where there was a Corona icon and it said Corona party, we give no lucks.
Or even
it was a double entendre on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
By the way, can I just say I don't understand like getting excited about like a St. Patrick's Day. Like,
wait, don't. We're gonna talk about St. Patrick's Day now.
Well,
that's also a harbinger of the end of days.
Right. Like, it's so funny, but that people are that into.
Well, that's what I didn't understand. I was like,
Irish.
Why? The people that are going out, the people that went out this weekend, they weren't going out because they wanted to party. This is my feeling. It felt like they were going out in defiance. They were going, fuck this. I'm not going to let this affect me. Somebody said on Twitter yesterday a really interesting and funny thing that this is the era we've been raised post 9/11. And so everyone in America, every young person in America has been raised with this notion that if you adjust your behavior, the terrorists win, right? So they're like, I'm not adjusting my behavior for Corona. But Corona's not Al-Qaeda. Corona and viruses, they're not, they actually, if you adjust your behavior, the terrorists lose in this particular case. So what I was arguing with Brent about this idea that action is wise because it only can help and it's not really going to hurt. I guess the economy has been affected. You can't really deny that. And he said something funny and interesting, which is like, he thinks people are kind of enjoying the alarmism. He thinks people are kind of like feeling like they're living in a movie.
Well, there is an excitement to it, that's for sure.
And I will say, going to get gas in the RV, I put on a black.
He was wearing black rubber gloves.
I was wearing a black jumper, and then I had black surgical gloves to pump the gas, and I definitely was feeling like, oh hell yeah, I'm in the shit now. I was like, where's my gun? I don't have a gun yet. I need a gun. It definitely felt like I was in a movie plot a little bit.
That's how I felt today too.
What, hiking?
Yes, because my friend Sabrina brought like her speakers and she was playing The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, like blaring up this like mountaintop, and it was, and then people just staring at you and everyone trying to keep 6 feet apart. I mean, you definitely feel like there's an altered society. But I also want to say it's not just people going to bars. It seems like it's people like going to their Soul Cycle class or going to. Right. Like not really, or going to visit, just not keeping it
tight.
Keeping it tight.
Keep it tight.
You can't like keep it loose and then go visit like vulnerable people.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like I said, like what is it that our friend had a stand-up show this weekend, one of the very few that wasn't canceled. And he decided to do it, which I understand. He has economic anxiety. I'll tell you what, I have economic anxiety. Every day I wake up.
Every person has economic anxiety.
Every day I wake up to an email with another gig canceled, another amount of money that's gone, and all of my income. I haven't been working for the last few months because I decided after my last job to stay home and take care of our kid and kind of spend that time doing that. And then I was ramping up for our tour, for the Royal Family Tour, and I was like, okay, this is my income for the year. And then bam, this thing hits, and then one by one, all of my gigs are getting canceled, and I'm freaking out economically. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was feeling excited. I found that. I don't know. Oh my
God! Did you buy that bumper?
I don't know if you guys remember a few episodes ago.
Moshe.
Hold on, let me finish. I don't know if you remember a few episodes ago when I did an ad for the ARB bumper. I was really excited about them getting back to me and giving me a free bumper. They didn't.
And so you went and bought one.
Well, it's been a constant Google search ever since I began. I was sitting in a writer's room doing. I got a job to doing punch up for this upcoming film. So that was one of the last jobs I did, except for the job that we were arguing about that you canceled and I went and did, which was last 2 weeks ago. And which I'm glad I did that too, I think, unless I get that corona. And I found the bumper. I was like, you know what? I'm about to go on tour. I got a little bit of a pad of money. I'll do it. I'll buy the bumper. And then now I'm thinking, damn.
When that bumper gets here, we're going to put it in your video game room.
Well, we'll try to eat it. Or maybe we'll use it to fend off the rioters that come over our fence.
We're going to be renting out your video game room.
We might be renting out my RV. I mean, honestly, if you're a listener and you need a place to live, we're looking for roommates right now.
But also, I'd like to say it is really hard for single people. I understand that, and it's we're lucky that we're in a relationship.
You mean social distancing is harder for single people without kids? Yeah, I hear that.
And we're in a relationship, and that's really great. And it would be nice to not have my kid in quarantine because I'm not really enjoying it. Like I could be like playing piano and like reading and sleeping in.
So
but
you're saying
now I'm like a full-time mom.
You're saying you don't enjoy the company of our child?
No, I do. Of course, I love her more than anything.
That's different,
including you.
By the way, that's different than enjoying her company.
No, of course I enjoy her company, but it's just like it's hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
She's just like I want to eat the dog's medicine. I want to eat Cutie's medicine. No, you can't eat the dog's medicine. Like just screaming, and then like it's like I want to eat frozen food. I want a frozen waffle.
She does eat frozen waffles uncooked.
But it's like she just gets mad if she can't have a knife.
Right.
So like that's just like a very taxing vibe.
Well, believe me, I know because I live with her as well, and prior to that I lived with you, and the vibe was exactly the same.
Oh, fuck you. But I'm just saying, my heart goes out. But yes, I have Moshe. We can talk to each other. We can have sex. We can watch Love is Blind.
A lot.
We can chill.
We've been fucking to Love is Blind. I mean, we fucked to every episode of Love is Blind, and 3 times during the reunion episode. You remember that?
Yes.
Oh, man, there was some good fucking that night.
Wait, but I have something to say to the single people out there.
Okay.
Single people
out there. Is it more important than my fucking during the reunion riff?
No.
No, go ahead.
I think that you should try to like really go deep into like I can't do this because I'm with a kid all day, but like I would go deep into like reading or any interest or something. I read an article yesterday, they're like bird watching. But I do think
bird watching from quarantine? How?
Well, they were saying like take nature walks. But I think that, just like reading and not like really limiting yourself to the internet a little bit. I think video chat is really fun. Call people, call your friends, call your family. I'm enjoying these video chats better than actual visits with people.
Get a squad on Fortnite. Here's the problem with Fortnite, Natasha.
Yes.
Is that all these young kids are so good at it that for people like me who might want to like log back in and give it a whirl, they're too good. You can't even enjoy the game. So I propose, and this is as important as what you're saying, the compassion for single people, telling them to really edify themselves and get into reading. This is also an important thing. I would like to propose to the people at Fortnite that you make a loser division. It's a secondary tier where people who want to play the game for fun but aren't very good at it can play against each other. Rather than having to play, I don't want some 14-year-old shooting me in the face and laughing at me over video chat or over audio chat. You know the kinds of names they call me? It's
well, like what?
I don't know. Geezer, Jew. They can hear it in my voice somehow.
Boomer.
They say yeah. They say, okay, boomer, every time they shoot me. They go, boom, boom. You know what they're calling the virus, by the way, millennials?
What?
The boomer remover. Have you heard that? That's dark.
Yeah.
That's some dark shit.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that.
Well.
Did I mention that if you're quarantined and you're single and you're by yourself, definitely have restrictions for yourself for the internet, which is good anyway.
You did say, but
okay, I just think it's really important because if I was sitting at home all day with the news, I think I would go insane.
Right.
I don't think it's sustainable. Like you have to like, do your check-in at lunch, do some video chats. I think you need to cleanse your palate. Download a fucking meditation app. Get a Pinterest board, go deep into some, if there was a book you always
you're saying avoid the internet, go
on
Pinterest, get an app?
I'm just saying like maybe like here's what I do sometimes when I'm working. I'll go upstairs, I'll write, and then at lunchtime I'll like look at the internet, and this is on a good day. Look at the internet, maybe look on Instagram, do like my little social media, like look at my Pinterest, think about what my dream thing would be, do that, and then like try to like turn my ringer off, turn my phone off, and then write more.
The thing is, there's another meme going around the internet that talks about how Shakespeare, during a bubonic plague quarantine, wrote King Lear and Antony and Cleopatra and something else. And they're like, so, take this as an opportunity to make great art. But the thing is, like, for me, being on the internet, that is my King Lear. Surfing the internet, writing some Corona tweets, playing some Fortnite, and making love to you to Love is Blind. That
I love it.
Is my King Lear. Well, what do you think, Tosh? Are you ready to take a call?
Yeah.
Any other thoughts before we do that?
Oh, I'm just afraid like martial law is going to happen in like 2 hours and there's like sirens outside of my house. I mean, I
Yeah.
already hear sirens right now, so I'm just trying to stay focused.
Well, right. Well, you know how when you
Because I do think, can I just say one more thing? My nanny, our nanny, she went to Sam's Club 4 days ago and said there was just fights breaking out, all the food's gone, and she was like terrified.
Right.
Because I think she kind of wasn't really sure from me. Like, I think she thought I was maybe overreacting. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but she certainly didn't seem concerned.
Right.
And I kept talking to her about it like every day. But then she texted me and was saying like, I never thought it would be like this.
Well, I'll
so
tell you
scared.
what. I've been trying to tell my mom we have a cabin off in the woods somewhere that my grandfather built by hand.
That's amazing that men just used to be like, I'm going to build a cabin.
Yeah, well, it's the non-Jewish side of the family.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, not a lot of hand-built Jew cabins, just
I
FYI.
didn't even think of that. So you're never going to be able to do that.
Well, I have half of that in me. I could build half a cabin.
You mean like an RV?
Yeah, I could buy an RV. I could buy a bumper for an RV. That is my cabin.
You took my joke.
Oh, I didn't know it was yours. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But you know what? We're a couple. We share everything. So if you're single out there and you're quarantined, you'll never get this kind of joy. But you will be able to read a few books.
And also give us a call. We'd love to talk you off that ledge. You know what business is doing really good right now is therapy. I bet there's a
like
lot
online
of,
therapy?
A lot of, not like video chatting with your therapist.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
want to buy stock in that.
You know what we should actually do? We should start a business where people can hang out with comedians that they're fans of, and they can pay a rate to just video chat us, and just hang out.
Let's do it.
It's like Cameo, but more intense and less attractive to the people that would be desirable to hang out with.
I hear you.
But look, you're probably out there. You don't have any good, funny friends. Call us. All of our gigs got canceled. We'll do our act for you. I mean, it's actually not a terrible idea.
Well, anyway, I think we should take a call.
My Venmo's at Moshe Kasher. If you want to send me some money, and in the comments there, you just tell me what your phone number is. I'll give you a buzz. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
How you sleeping?
I'm not being able to sleep that well today because of the pandemics.
Well, I got some good news for you. If you're worried about not getting enough sleep, I can't help you with the pandemic, but I can help you with a brand new mattress that's more comfortable than any you've ever slept on.
But I had a nightmare about a pangolin last night.
Well, there are no pangolins in the mattresses made by Helix. Helix Sleep has a quiz that just takes 2 minutes to complete, and it will match your body type and sleep preferences. For you, it would be clicking no pangolins to the perfect mattress for you.
And if you like a mattress that's really soft or firm, you sleep on your side or your back or your stomach, or you sleep really hot, with Helix, there's a specific mattress for each and everybody's unique taste. When we met, we had to kind of decide.
Right, we had to come
You
to an
wanted
agreement.
really firm, and I wanted soft, so we got a really firm one with a soft pillow on top. So you can do it as a couple.
Yeah, I'm a stomach hot. That's what I would be. I took the quiz. That's what they told me. I was matched with the perfect Helix mattress because I wanted something that felt perfect for me.
Helix is offering up to $200 on all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/honeymoon.
If you've got an old, nasty mattress that's, by the way, they say mattresses double in weight over 5 years. You sleep and you pick them up, they're all filled with your gross skin. Get a new mattress. And there's nothing to risk. They've got a 10-year warranty, and you can try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll pick it up for you if you don't love it. They'll come to your house and take it away. Nothing to worry about, and $200 off. All mattress orders with 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/honeymoon. That's HELIX sleep.com/honeymoon for $200 off. And one of the best things you can do for your immune system is making sure that you get enough high-quality sleep. So sleep on Helix. Oh, and another thing that just happened, this literally just happened. It would be breaking news if we went out live, but because we don't, you probably already know this information.
LA is on lockdown as of midnight tonight through March 31st. Bars, nightclubs closed. Retailers closed except for supermarkets and pharmacies. Gyms and health clubs closed. Most city buildings closed. Restaurants open only for carry out and delivery. Why do you want to eat food from people who could have this disease?
It's sketchy, and this isn't. We don't have any memory of this.
My daughter sneezes over everything I eat.
Really?
I'm just saying.
I've not noticed that habit.
It's like a
it might be
common
personal.
thing to sneeze, and like that's how it's transmitted, right?
I just had a thought the other day because, like, basically the rhythm of these epidemics, which, like I said, will never stop. They will always happen because viruses will always mutate. And the way that viruses work is when viruses are in the human genome, they don't affect us as heavily because we have antibodies to them. We have resisted them because we've caught them over millennia and generations before, so they don't affect us as gravely. And it's when a virus jumps from animal into human for the first time that it becomes a pandemic. And every 10 years, there's an epidemic. And every 100 years, there's a pandemic, right?
But that means we haven't had one of these.
In 100 years.
So SARS, H1N1, none of those were pandemics. I didn't know that.
SARS and H1N1 didn't become global pandemics.
I was 20 when all that happened, so I didn't think it was a big deal.
Because we were able to get in front of them, and so part of the thing about SARS was it had a super high kill rate, but it wasn't incredibly contagious in the way that corona is, right? And I was just listening to a podcast about this recently. Basically, the more deadly it is, it's actually worse for the virus, because if the virus kills you too quickly, it'll just kill and it'll end its feedback loop, and it won't be able to spread through the whole of the human population. It's when a virus both jumps from animal into human and has a pretty high kill rate and a pretty high contagion rate that it can spread through the entire world, right? And that's what we're in the midst of right now. And this happens once every 100 years. And the crazy thing about that is that 100 years is just about long enough for everybody who remembers it directly to have died. And so we don't have a consciousness in our mind. Like when you say, like, this is unprecedented, it's never happened before. It has happened before. It's totally happened before.
It hasn't happened before with Trump and with the internet. But those are two big factors that are going to cause
for sure
breakdown.
Definitely. But it was bad then too. I mean, it was really bad. It was World War I. It wasn't like things were good back then. We were in the middle of a pointless world war, and people were on the battlefield, and it was really gnarly. But the thing is, our cultural memory has kind of erased the visceral memory of what a pandemic felt like. So it enables people to think, oh, this is no big deal. This couldn't happen here, because nobody remembers that it already has happened here. You know, my brother was talking about this today. Are you okay? You seem despondent.
Sorry, I'm just really upset.
Okay. Should we just take a call, or should I keep on with my...
Maybe we should just take a call.
Well, can I just finish this one thought?
Okay.
I don't want to send you into a spiral. But my brother was just talking about this today. Like, he felt like my grandmother was more... She grew up in the 50s, and she was more all about, like, wash your hands. A good boy washes his hands. Washing your hands is a good thing. Not that we don't tell kids to wash their hands now, but the fixation on hygiene was higher in the 50s than it is in
the wet markets of Wuhan, where they eat pangolins.
Well, they had wet markets. I think, yeah, eating a pangolin, not a great thing. Wet market, not a great thing. But I do think there's something to the idea that we used to be, our grandparents' generation were a little more fastidious about washing their hands, because those people remembered the pandemic.
Oh,
and the people in their generation really remembered it, because they all knew somebody that had died. Almost no one alive
From
today.
what?
From the Spanish flu in 1918.
Interesting.
Spanish flu in 1918 killed 60 to 100 million people. And it was really bad.
Well, there's a whole different world happening now. We're all connected at all times, so it's very, very different. Here's the thing I have to say. Keeping your mental health as a priority is going to be extremely important.
Right.
Especially for people who are, like, alone. You know, I think that even me, like, I'm already barely able to have this conversation with you because I'm feeling, like, slightly despondent, and, like, I'm just trying to, like, focus on tasks at home and just, like, clean and take care of the child, you know, and this child that I love, and this husband that I love. I'm just saying.
No, thank you. I was just waiting.
But I just think, like, anything, that's the number one priority for everyone. Anything you can do to, like, things that make you feel good. Like, you have to be able to figure out I think talking to people on the phone and video chatting with people is, like, really fun.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that's really important.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Well, I
Buy
just
stock
heard.
in Zoom.
I just heard that the number one infector of the coronavirus is podcast producers. And unfortunately for us, every time we do an episode here, we have to let our producer, Laura, into our house.
But Moshe said she's an acceptable risk.
She's an acceptable risk, except she came in today with what she described as a dry cough.
No, she didn't.
She said, I have a dry cough.
She has pretty much agreed to be on lockdown as well.
Right.
But wait, does that mean it's illegal for now? If we're on lockdown, is it illegal for her to come to our house?
No, we're not at an actual quarantine yet. We're not. Actually, I just found out that telling people to stay home is not a quarantine. A quarantine is taking all the sick people and putting them in a tent or whatever. What we are in, can I look it up?
I know what it's called. It's like Corten and Fair. It's like a French
Yeah, it
word.
sounds kind of nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like basically
cordon bleu. Chicken cordon bleu.
I wrote it down to myself. I think what it is it's basically sick people and people voluntarily putting themselves.
It's trying to cleanse society. Isn't that a nice turn of phrase? Cleansing society. That's never turned out negatively. That's always been pretty good.
It's basically volunteer. It's like a voluntary quarantine.
Well, what it is
mixed with the people who are actually quarantined.
Right. It's rather than putting the sick people into an area, you tell everybody stay in your area. And that works until your podcast producer shows up complaining of an achy body and a dry cough.
She only had shortness of breath.
She said she went to a St. Patrick's Day party and she was drinking Mickey's Big Mouth.
She peed on the side of the road.
She peed out front. She's
peeing right
I found
now.
her in the bushes peeing.
We're going to have her spend the night now.
Why? That's not going to help. Well, anyway, to everybody out there in quarantine land, if you are there now, we love you. We are trying to double up our episodes here so that we can give you a little more content and also give us something to do so we don't go crazy.
And if you're a creative, tackle that thing.
But don't call yourself a creative.
No, but you know what I mean.
Never say I'm a creative.
Because I don't know who I'm talking to. Like, everyone has like, creative people know who they are. They're like people who have ideas for things that they've, procrastinate.
On my gig.
To write about, yeah.
On my gig in Detroit that I did recently, the person that picked me up, she described herself as a creative, and I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And she said, honestly, like what you do." And I was like, "Oh, how long have you been doing stand up?" She's like, "Oh, I haven't started yet."
No, I know that was a dumb thing to say.
No, I wasn't.
Them a creative,
no,
but I
I
just
wasn't
mean like a creative
dumb.
type.
I was just talking a little shit. But can I tell you one more story about her?
No, we gotta take a call.
Come on, let me tell you one more story about her. She was I probably shouldn't do this. This is so mean.
Moshe, can I tell you one more story, Casher? You got a new name.
See? Something good came out of this pandemic. I got a new nickname. All right, let's just do it.
Moshe, have you heard this one before? Casher.
All right, let's take a call. We're going to call Robin in Denver, Colorado.
I'm telling you, people are going to be freaking out.
Well, let's find out.
All right. So we can still go to the grocery store?
What's up? Are you just looking at graphs and memes about the coronavirus?
No, she just gave me that crazy information.
Hello?
Hey, Robin.
Yes.
Hi, it's the Center for Disease Control calling. I'm Moshe Kasher.
How's your COVID going?
Uh-huh. How's my what going?
Your COVID?
Oh, it's great.
Have you made a COVID cubby?
COVID what?
A COVID cubby. It's where you lock your house down and make it real cozy and nice to welcome the quarantine.
Ooh, I should do that. I have not. I
Sage.
just disinfected and cleaned.
Are you freaking out?
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are too. We really are too. We're actually recording in front of 2 bottles of Clorox disinfecting wipes. So don't get too dirty or we'll have to use one.
Okay.
What's going on?
Yeah, Robin, tell us your woe.
My woe is actually coronavirus related.
Yes.
Today is my dad's 68th birthday. He's a type 2 diabetic. He also owns a cleaning supplies business, ironically, so he's still going to work.
Okay.
Business is booming.
Right.
And
That's
we were
that's so crazy that's
I know.
that's such a booming business right now. They can't. Where's the Purell? They can't make more.
Well, you talk to her dad. He's got it all.
Today, my friend gave me
That's a
some,
good
and she's
question.
like, "This is from an apothecary in downtown." I was like, "What? Why does
No.
it smell so weird?" Yeah, go ahead.
What's funny is that his business is disgusting. It's like a condemned building, but he has he's run out of disinfectant and toilet paper and everything. He still has gloves, so
Business is boomer. So
yeah.
what's your dilemma? How do you celebrate his birthday?
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. So we called my mom and dad yesterday, and we said, me and my sister, we said we think we shouldn't do dinner tonight. And basically, they completely disagreed with us. They kind of rolled their eyes. They essentially, toward the end of the conversation, we started feeling incredibly guilty.
Of course.
And honestly, we were only supposed to be 6 people since my cousins were sick and didn't want to come. So part of me is thinking maybe we shouldn't have canceled it, and I still feel guilty. And now moving forward, how do we convince them to stop going to work or like going to the knit shop?
Yeah, it's the knit shop. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like my mom's still going to the knit shop.
Man, that sounds like a real.
Wait, and your parents are like in the age zone to die, right?
Yeah. They're both 68 years old.
I mean, there's a zone for it.
Yeah. So
they're very vulnerable. They're
Sure.
like immunocompromised or whatever it's
Well,
called.
they're old.
They're immunocompromised.
Oh,
and
diabetes.
They're both kind of like, it's fine. It's not going to happen to us, or like the numbers
Where do they
aren't that
live?
bad, or like.
Where do they live?
What's that?
Where do they live?
They live like in South Denver.
That's weird because I would think old people would be so scared right
They're
now.
not, though. They're not.
Old people aren't scared?
Old people aren't. These people, these boomers who are at risk.
Boomers aren't 70.
Yeah, they are.
Boomers are 70? I thought they
They
were
are.
like 50.
No, boomers are 70, right? Am I right, Robin?
That's what I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, boomers. These boomers are not scared. They will not, because it's like I once heard this story that this really great comedian Mike DiStefano, who's passed away actually, told about. He had AIDS, and that's not how he died, but he told this great story about like driving a woman who was dying on the back of his motorcycle. It's really great. You can actually look it up, Mike DiStefano motorcycle on YouTube or something like that. But he had this really great point, was like people that are dying don't think of themselves as dying. Because they're alive. They're not thinking the whole time, I'm dying. The same thing is true with old people, like older people, especially young old people, like 68, 70. They're not walking around thinking like, I'm old, I'm vulnerable. They're going like, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm walking around. And so these older people who are like, my mom is in the same boat, by the way. I'm trying to convince her, like, stop going to the hospital, like, take this stuff seriously, and she just won't.
But why aren't they taking it? I mean, my mom takes it seriously. She sleeps with a mask on.
Right.
With her husband. I'm like, wait, you guys are sleeping in masks? They live
Literally.
in Illinois. And she's like, yes, you can't be too careful. I'm like, but are you intimate with him and like kissing him? And she's like, well, there's obviously more important things to be thinking about than that right now. Like, I'm just like, aren't you horny? But like, I mean,
That's what you said to your
no,
mom?
but I wasn't asking her like if they were still fucking.
No,
but
the only reason I ask is because I called your mom, and that's what I said to her. I was like, aren't you horny?
no, but
And she was very open.
She thinks that like droplets could get into her mouth from her husband if he has it and is like snoring at night or something.
Well, look, nobody is. You know, I heard something recently, Robin, that might be interesting to you. How old are you, by the way?
31.
31. Okay, so you don't quite qualify. Actually, you're still technically a millennial. But there's this thing going around the internet right now, which is that the only generation that's actually taking this seriously is Gen X.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the logic there is, that millennials aren't taking it seriously and boomers aren't taking it seriously, but Gen X, for some reason,
I mean, it's true.
It's true anecdotally.
I saw that too. My millennial friends are.
You think? Yeah, it didn't quite. Also, the meme that I saw was
Moshe
like,
loves memes.
well, I love the internet because I'm more culturally a millennial than I am Gen X, if that makes sense, Robin.
Sure.
I'm more with you.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so here's what I was thinking. I don't know how to convince your parents to take this seriously. It's really difficult to burst through the cognitive dissonance bubble. I think that's a little bit too difficult a task for you to. You can't. All you can do is try to convince them. But it's kind of like trying to convince your Trump voting parents, not that yours did, to vote to not be Trump voters. It's like there's a thing happening.
Right.
There's a brain fog happening that you can't break through. But there is some practical advice that I would have on how to celebrate your dad's birthday. Would that be helpful?
Yes. Yes.
Why don't you guys have a picnic? Go to a park. You guys live in Colorado, the most beautiful of all the states. There's so much outdoor space. What if you guys had a picnic and went to an isolated park somewhere outside of Denver to celebrate his birthday? That way you could get together but still be far apart and still be in the outdoors, allowing that great Mother Nature to churn those germs away. And you guys could have a nice little celebration together.
I think that's not a bad idea. We ultimately compromised on just FaceTiming, but I think that's a good idea. They're not very outdoorsy type people. You know, they're stuck in their ways kind of thing.
Sure.
But
well, what I think, I mean, the thing is, first of all, this is good because I think families should be outside and it's very healing. So that's a good thing. But I also think that things are going to get much worse and your parents are going to be on board soon. And until they are, it's very good to have language. Like for me, someone said to me, we're taking, because I asked her what they were doing, and she said, we're taking social distancing very seriously. And I was like, oh, that's such a good way to say it. So I just said that to like 5 people.
Right.
So I think just having like a script that just makes you feel like, not like crazy, but, you know, it's just like, I'm taking this very seriously. And that's all that you need to say. And they can do what they want and, you know,
well, yeah, I mean,
go on their party bus.
You probably go to their party bus to their knit shop, which sounds like a real infection center. It's an infection apex. But I will say, and I don't want to freak you out, Robin, but what I have learned about, and maybe you already know this, is that the way these pandemics work is that they start somewhere and then they ramp up until they hit their peak, and the cognitive dissonance barrier is broken down the further towards the peak people get. So in Italy, the exact thing that we're seeing now was happening in Italy 2 weeks ago. People were like, what are you, crazy? I'm Italian. I can't not get pasta. Me gotta have the pasta. And they were going out in defiance of the best advice. And then things started to ramp up. And then people started to take social distancing more seriously. And so Natasha's right. You know, if things do go south, we are about a week or 2 weeks away from the zone where everybody's illusions about, like, I'm not going to change my ways are going to be shattered. And all you can do, I think, really, when it comes to the stubbornness of old people, is hope that they're safe in the meantime.
And try to FaceTime them a little more frequently and let them know how much you love them, and just say you're taking it seriously and you want to be there for their birthday. And like what Moshe said, if you're still having picnics, I don't know, is that even going to be acceptable?
I think the outdoors...
That's what I was wondering. Are picnics even allowed when you're social distancing and all that?
I think that, you know, I'm a parent, so the information I get is from mothers, and I think some of the information from moms is very stringent, you know, and then I notice the information that some of my single friends have, and it feels like a little more loose, and they're like, well, we can still like go to, you know, outdoor sports activities or whatever they do, you know, or like...
A lot of your friends go to outdoor sports activities?
No, you know, like the gym or whatever it is, you know, or go to a restaurant. Like friends are still going to restaurants or obviously still going to bars, you know, like I think that young people, like they're just like, well, we're just social distancing. There's like 4 feet away from me. I don't know. I just think then parents are more paranoid because they have a kid, even though it's not affecting children as much. You know, we're just like always scared. So we're like, you know, total targets for this, like the most scary information. And we're like very, very careful.
But also
I like that you're 31 and taking this really seriously.
Also, the people that take this stuff seriously are going to be, you have to be prepared to be called crazy and paranoid. You know, you have to just make peace with that.
I don't think that's going to be for long. And I think
like my parents,
yes, Robin.
My parents have a history of not really taking the things that me and my sister say very seriously, especially after the election of the 2016 election with, like, you know, feminism and all that stuff. So it was just...
What happened in the 2016 election?
Well, like, my dad didn't vote for Trump, but he is a Republican.
Oh, he did too.
Good point. You make a good point. So, you know, and obviously with the 2016 election, I became a more more stronger feminist. So like, during Sunday night dinners, we would talk about, certain policies and how important they were to us. And my dad always just kind of like dismisses it and then talks about whatever he wants, whatever he thinks.
Right.
And so it's not changing now.
Well, that's the hallmark of being older, is you're stuck in your ways, you think you know stuff, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But I now have a solution on how you can get your dad to take social distancing more seriously.
What's that?
Tell him that if he will take it more seriously and self-quarantine, you will stop being a feminist.
Interesting.
Say it's a trade that I'm willing to make. I'll stop being a feminist. I'll start watching the Ingram angle on Fox News every night, but you just got to agree to hide away. And then you know what? You do what you want because he's not going to check.
And I have a new script for you. I'm taking social distancing very seriously, and I hope you are too. Just keep telling her that. You have to keep, if your mom, because she's the vulnerable one. She's the one who's going to get it. I still don't understand why they don't care.
Because they don't think it's real. It's global warming. It's all the same thing. Robin, here's your script. I'm taking social distancing more seriously, and I hope that you very seriously, and I hope that you are too. And if you are too, I'll be taking feminism less seriously. Are you ready?
I think that's great advice.
Okay, Robin, good luck. And it's hard what you're going through, and I really do empathize with you because I'm going through the same thing. Although my mom definitely didn't vote for Trump.
Thank you.
Bye, Robin. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I thought old people were like afraid of everything and they believe in the government and they love like anyone like they whatever a policeman says to them they think is the law. Like, they're like more square.
They're square, but they're square because they like they're rigid. They're rigid. They're not
All you have to do
squares.
is watch a internet clip about what's happening in China. I mean,
there's
like,
all this stuff going around. China. Are you kidding?
Or Italy or whatever.
Italy.
What's that thing we were watching on?
Are you crazy? Italy, China, those countries aren't America. America is the greatest country on earth.
That is not every old person.
I think it's a lot of old people. I don't mean that they're like buffoons that are like, America, greatest country on earth. They can't get here. I mean that it's more of like a deep psychological belief that we have been safe, quote unquote, for so long that nothing could come here. We've never been invaded. We've never been, and like I said, they're so far away from the Spanish flu. If you're 68, you don't remember anything about the Spanish flu unless maybe your grandma talked about it.
So is this like the Spanish flu with Wi-Fi?
This is the Spanish flu with Wi-Fi. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
Now that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, I'm going to start an online Etsy/eBay/ everything I can possibly make money on online, shipping stuff out from our house. Do you think that's a good idea?
I really prefer you didn't.
Well, I'm doing it, and I'm a little overwhelmed by all the shipping options. I wish that there was a company out there that could help me mail stuff out.
Well, it sounds like you need Shipstation.com. It's the fastest, easiest, and most affordable way to manage and ship your orders. Just a few clicks, and you'll be managing your orders, printing out labels, and getting your product out fast to keep your customers happy. Shipstation makes it easy.
Not only does it make it easy, they'll get out quickly, you save money on shipping costs, and they keep your customers happy. No matter what interface you're using, Amazon, Etsy, your own website, Shipstation brings all your orders into one simple interface. They're the #1 choice of online sellers.
Yeah, right now we're offering them a discount.
Oh, really? I thought this was going to be, this service is so good, I think you should pay 1.5 times what their actual prices are. We're going to give you a discount.
Right now, Endless Honeymoon listeners can try Shipstation free for 60 days when you use offer code HONEYMOON. There's absolutely no risk. You can start your free trial without even entering your credit card info.
Visit Shipstation.com. Click on the microphone at the top of their homepage and type in honeymoon.
That's Shipstation.com, then enter offer code HONEYMOON.
Shipstation.com. Make ship happen.
If Denver, so LA, can I just say this? LA is on lockdown as of right now.
That's right.
So this woman who called in Denver, they're obviously not on lockdown because her mom's going to the knitting supply store.
But that's the thing.
As soon as it goes on lockdown, they're going to agree that it's something crazy.
But the thing about pandemics, I feel like
a pandemic. So we haven't had a pandemic in our lifetime?
We haven't had a real global pandemic in our lifetime. No, we've had things that looked like they could have gone pandemic.
Right, because everyone keeps going, I did some research about SARS and H1N1 and the swine flu, and, it's really not that bad.
You talking to a lot of Jews? Take that, Jews. I'm one of you.
No, but I mean, a lot of people are saying that they've done this research and we were all these people, people died and it was fine and the healthcare system could handle it. But you're saying this is like now gone into the realm.
Into the realm of pandemic. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
I gotta say something, Moshe.
What's up, dude?
I didn't have you with me. I think I would go fucking insane. I think people are gonna be out there right now being like, who could I almost deal with?
As a relationship. Let's just do it. Because I was thinking, like, you remember the great blackout of New York?
Because, honey, I could almost deal with you. Yes?
You remember the great blackout of New York City that happened like 10 years ago?
No.
You don't remember? All of Manhattan was in a.
I didn't live there then. So
well, it was a big story.
Okay.
And then they said 9 months after that, more babies were born in Manhattan than had been registered in like 100 years or whatever, because everybody fucked that week or whatever. I bet you that 9 months from now, birth rates are going to fucking plummet, because nobody's out, nobody's fucking, and it's really, I'm thinking right now about my friends who are like out there on these Tinder apps, I don't know if I talked about that last week, but I have been thinking about that. Like, if you're horny, this is a bad time. This is a bad time, but it's a good time for video chat. For cam girls, it's got to be the golden era for cam girls.
I have not been feeling very horny lately.
Oh, really? I have been. And you know what?
You go to cam girls?
No. You know what? Dude, I don't know what I'd do without you, dude. Should we play some secrets?
Yeah, but let me also say, I think it's a really good time to take. If you are in a relationship and who have a family, this is some quality family time.
Yeah, and if you are single.
I made meatloaf.
You did
I made
make
a roasted
meatloaf.
chicken.
And
I made an angel food cake. I don't ever do that shit.
Right.
I'm about done, though.
That's fine.
That's all I got.
About to jump over to Top Ramen pretty soon.
It's like day 3 and I've done all my recipes.
Well, shall we play a secret or two?
Yes.
What do you think? Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. If you're with your family, spend this quality time. And if you're single, think about the life choices that you've made up until this point that have caused you to be single. And think about the fact that you're not spending quality time with the family you could have had while you were out there at the club on St. Patrick's Day doing doggy style in the stall at the local Irish pub.
No, just think about like your ideas.
Natasha, where did you go?
I was gonna take a puff of my joint.
Why don't you do it on camera? Be cool. Don't be a square. Show the world. All right.
What was the drug that everyone got addicted to in 1984? It was called like Soma.
I don't remember.
It's like when this stuff happens, everyone like gets on a drug. It was like
Really?
It was like some milk that you drink that numbs you.
I'll tell you what, and this
Look,
is.
weed got legalized.
I'll tell you what, and this is very very real. What was that?
That's how you can tell someone's young. Is as soon as they cough, they go for their elbow.
You think they've been trained? But why are you coughing? That sounded dry too.
That's another reason to not smoke weed, by the way.
Well, anyway, what was I just saying?
I don't know. Honey.
I had something I was saying, but I don't remember anymore.
I'm sure you'll remember soon.
I had one more story to tell you, but I don't have it anymore.
Well, let's listen to a secret, and I bet it'll come to you in the next secret.
All right, let's play a secret.
Hello. I've got a secret. It's not a particularly bad thing, but it is something that I don't think my friends should know. Sometimes when I'm at a party, or if I see somebody like I peripherally know, maybe I've met them once before, or they're a friend of a friend, I'll look them up on Instagram and Facebook, so then I find their name, and then I'll go up to them and I'll be like, "Hey, Matt, how you doing?" And then usually there'll be this moment where they're like, "How do I know you?" or whatever, or they'll say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot your name." And then I go, "Oh, it's okay. I'm Carlos, blah, blah, blah." Or, yeah, it's just a good way to like start talking to people. My favorite one is when I say, "Hey, Sarah, how's it going?" And they're like, "Oh my God, you remembered my name." And I go, "Yeah, how could I forget?" That's kind of one of my favorites because I have this little bit of power, I think, where I seem like confident and attentive, and I like doing it. That is it.
Wait, can you explain this to me, Moshe?
He was saying, I like this guy because it's like a tiny little psychological experiment that he's doing by himself with no consequences. And basically he says when he is at a party and he sees someone he kind of knows, he'll look them up on the internet. How? I don't know.
Oh, when he's at a party with someone else, he sees someone else and he looks them up on Facebook?
But how does he find them on Facebook?
That's a lot of scrolling and a lot of like
How does he find them on Instagram?
I don't know. I don't
Did we
like
miss
it, though.
that, Laura? How he finds them?
It's probably he lives in a community where he just can figure out who's friends with someone.
Because just so you know, Natasha, the other day there was a secret and somebody said something and we thought they said something else and we assumed what they were saying. And I got a lot of Instagram DMs going like, you guys need to get better headphones, man. That's not what she said. I'm liking that people are listening closely. But anyway, to Carlos, I like that because it's like kind of these teeny little life hacks that are just for you. I think that's cool, you know. And it was very sweet. He'll go up to somebody and just go, "Hey, Natasha, how are you?" And she'll go, "You remembered me." And he'll go, "I didn't remember you." He's thinking, "I stalked you on the internet."
But also, I think it's important to understand what he said because that does give you power.
Right.
It's like if you can remember people's names, it's very powerful.
Right.
But it's so hard to do.
Oh, you know what
I'm
hate?
so bad at it. I always call people honey.
Oh, but nobody. But that's so on brand for you that nobody notices.
They notice. I mean, I just want to I remember it's like a high status thing too. Like people used to say that about like Jacqueline Kennedy. She knew everybody's name. Like she'd be in an
Bill
elevator
Clinton
with
too.
some. Yeah, like
Bill
these
Clinton, they
people
say.
have like a capacity for it.
Well, you know, I heard once, or a thing that I hate that people do is when they come up to you and they say hi and they go, "You don't remember my name, do you?" And I'm just like, ugh, well, I'll remember you now forever as the piece of shit that put me in this situation.
I'm glad people do that to you because I thought that was just something men did to women.
No.
Because
I've
men
had
will
it
like
happen.
hug me at a party. I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you." He's like, "Oh yeah, I've actually met you three, 4 times." You know, and you're just like, sorry.
That character was less Jewish.
No, but you know what
More
I mean? That
aggressive.
like angry, like they're
Yeah.
still being nice to you because they're at a party, but they're like, actually, we've met many times. And I always felt like that was a way for men to make women feel like shit.
Well, I don't think so because it's happened to me, but I don't want to diminish your experience as a woman, and I want to acknowledge it and support it. So definitely. Oh, I had a thought, by the way. If you're out there listening, you can call our Secrets Hotline this week or next week and tell us about your bunker experience. Honestly, what I'd like to hear, what's the weirdest thing that you've done as a result of self-quarantining? What's the weirdest thing you've done in self-quarantine? Something weird. Leave it on our Secrets Hotline. Let's play another secret.
Hi, Natasha and Moshe. So many years ago, I worked at a Jewish elementary school, and I loved it. It was a great job. And every Friday, the kids would make challah bread for their Sabbath. And I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, I could tell.
And this was my first experience, you know, with the traditions and everything. So
Why are they hiring her?
teacher, she would have me put the dough in the microwave before they would, you know, make the bread. And for the whole time I was there, I would put it in the microwave and just bring it back. And a few months into the job, I was about to do that, and there was another Jewish person in the office, and she was like, wait, don't stop. You can't put it in that microwave. You have to use the kosher microwave. And I realized then that this entire time I had been using the non-kosher microwave to put the dough in, and I played it off. I was like, oh yeah, but yeah. What did I do? That I feel like I did something bad. If they were to find out, you know, did I ruin something? I never told them ever, and I won't. I'm not at that job anymore, but I just think about it and wonder, you know, what were the ramifications of eating the non-kosher challah every Saturday that I fucked up. That's my secret.
I have a lot to say.
Well, hold on a second. I've heard a lot of secrets on this podcast. Please don't laugh. somebody killed a parrot. There was a child soldier who couldn't figure out how to tell his lover that he was a child soldier. People have done revenge fantasies, disgusting sexual aberrances, theft. And this is by far the most offensive thing that I've ever heard on our Secrets Hotline. I mean, it fucking pisses me off that those perfect little Jew children were eating a challah with the flecks of non-kosher food, microwaved Stouffer's lean cuisine on their challah. Unreal. And you're laughing, Natasha. But you know what the ramifications actually are in response to her question? Those kids don't get to go to Jewish heaven. They don't. They will burn in the fiery flames of Gentile hell because of what you did. Because of the microwave that you cooked the dough in. How dare you, miss? How dare you?
Okay, what I wanted to say was that I used to work at the JCC, Jewish Community Center, in the snack bar.
Okay.
And they had a kosher fridge and a kosher grill.
Yeah.
And I rolled my dang eyeballs at it all.
You rolled your eyeball?
And I didn't give a shit. I cooked anything on anything.
Wait, you cooked non-kosher food on the kosher grill?
I was just like, whatever.
You're like this demon that just left the secret.
I just want to say that the legalistic aspects of religion are the lowest form of the worst part of religion, I think.
Oh, well, guess what, Natasha? You just unconverted. Congratulations. You're Catholic again.
I don't want to be Catholic. I'd rather be Jewish. I'm just saying the whole you can't eat this with this or milk with meat. I don't know. It just seemed kind of immature.
Immature? That's a very funny way to describe it. Like old men with long white beards making the rule. You're like, it's just a little childish. The ramifications of what you did
are nothing.
Are nothing. Yeah.
You've done good. But
I don't know if she did good. I mean, listen, you should respect people's
non-kosher microwaves.
Yeah, I put it in a non-kosher. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm actually not a Jew.
I mean, I was hired because they thought I might be Jewish, but
when she said the children's Sabbath, that's when I knew.
Well, now you sound like an old Jew, Moshe.
You think this sounds like an old Jew? No, It goes, no, it's like, this sounds like an old Jew. This sounds like a lady from the Midwest.
No, you're trying to do an impression of a Catholic.
An impression of a Catholic?
Like an Italian.
No, an impression of a Catholic would be like, hey, come here. Hey, Brian. Yeah, it's almost your 11th birthday. Follow me. Something like that.
Gross, dude.
What are the ramifications of that? Similar to putting...
The ramifications?
Of the whole Catholic child sex scandal. It's a very similar ramification to putting the dough in the microwave.
Oh, I just forgot about coronavirus for 5 minutes.
Why'd it come back?
It was in my head.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway.
Maybe we should hear one more secret?
I wish I had some challah right now. That sounds so good, kosher or not. I'd eat the fuck out of it. Well, that's the real question. Did you eat it? Because that bread is better than Gentile bread. I'll tell you what.
It is definitely good.
Challah is good. Shit is good. It's one of the only good Jew foods. We didn't really nail it on the whole food thing.
Matzah's kind of good, like the matzo ball soup.
Matzo ball soup's good.
That's what I mean, whatever that
matzo ball soup's
is.
Good.
Don't
brisket,
they make it with matzah?
Brisket's good.
Brisket, I think that's disgusting. Gnawing on
cholent, that's
marinated
good.
Meat.
Cholent is good.
Cholent is absolutely disgusting.
You've never
Moshe.
had it in your life.
Every time you describe it, it sounds like the grossest thing I've ever heard. Can you please state the 3 key ingredients?
Why do I have to do 3? Why can't I do all of the ingredients?
Okay, say what it is and see if it sounds good.
It's beans. It's barley. Excuse me.
Oh, wait, stop. You had me. You got me. Beans and barley. That's what you're leading with.
It's beans, barley, beef, and potatoes.
That
it's like a stew.
So gross.
You sound so gross.
It sounds like what Oliver was asking more for when he's in line. He's like, "Can I have some more, please?"
I haven't told you the coup de grace, the kicker. Meat paste. There's a really good weedy meat paste called kishka, and it's cooked in an intestine. Now does it sound good?
That's how you know you're actually Jewish. You think that stuff sounds good.
No, how you know you're actually Jewish is if you think gefilte fish is good, and I do.
I what's white fish salad. I like that.
That's very Jewish.
So do you think New York's going to be on lockdown too?
Why'd you bring that up? Why now? Speaking of Jews,
Okay, let's listen to one more secret.
Hi, I'm calling with an embarrassing story. When I was first having sex with my first boyfriend, just like in that whole losing your virginity stage. Yeah, so we were doing it one day, it was probably like a few times in, and was going at it, and all of a sudden there was like blood involved down there, and I wasn't on my period. Just kind of came as a shock, and he was just like, "Oh, I guess I popped your cherry." I was like, "That's weird, because this is a lot of blood. I don't think it works this way." So what ended up happening is that he was uncircumcised, and his foreskin ripped, and it was gross. And then I think he ended up having to go to the doctor for it, but we were still like young, so he had to have his dad pick him, and I think he told his dad that he ripped it while he was masturbating. So I hope you enjoy that really gross story, and have fun roasting me. Bye!
ooh, mamma mia, that's a secret. That's a spicy secret.
If anyone was like, I think you just popped your cherry.
I think I just popped your cherry, dude. Fucking look down there. I fucking popped it.
I don't know if there's another way to say it, though.
That's true. I think I just. I think no. You say I think
hymen?
I think I just blasted your hymen.
Wait, what would be the most clinical way to say it? Like, what would like a scientist say to a woman?
I think I've penetrated your hymen. I think I've torn the membrane of your hymen. That's what a doctor would say, or a Jew.
What would like a guy, like a gentleman in the 1910?
He would say
He's
something.
wooing you. He's finally got underneath all the garments, and then it starts happening.
Right.
There's blood everywhere.
I think he would say, "Milady, I believe your ruby has burst."
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I burst your ruby.
That is so much prettier than popped your cherry.
I just popped your cherry, milady. I mean, this story, by the way, is like, how did he rip his foreskin and go, I think I popped your cherry, and not be like, I'm sure that the incredible dick pain I'm experiencing at the head of my penis is not related to all this blood. It's gotta be your cherry. Like, isn't he hurting?
Your cherry.
Isn't he hurting, though, if he's the one that... Hey, man, that's why you don't fuck with virgins. Because that shit is tight. That's too tight. Ripping that foreskin off. You know what?
I hear you.
Congratulations. You just that guy just converted to Judaism because he got circumcised his first sexual experience.
Can we take another call?
Yeah,
I
we
want
can
to talk to people about the coronavirus.
Yeah, we could take another call. You're writing down a note while I'm making a really fun joke.
Sorry.
Let's do another call.
I wrote down your joke.
Really?
Burst your ruby. I thought that was funny.
Burst that ruby. But
Yeah,
I said
it's so much better.
I said he converted to Judaism his first sexual experience because he got circumcised. Did you hear that?
I don't really like jokes like that.
Oh, really? What about that joke didn't you like? But you like Burst your ruby?
That I really did like.
Oh, God. Let's take another call. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
How are your feet?
They're surviving.
They look good. I'll tell you, they look good. They look like shoes that are smart, fashionable, and made of recycled plastic water bottles. Actually, they don't look like that because I can't tell, but I happen to know you're wearing Rothys.
I do like the black ones they sent me. They sent me some black flats, and they're really comfortable, and they're made from water bottles.
They're stylish, sustainable, they're comfortable, they're washable, all this in one pair of shoes. They look cool, and they're good for the environment.
Rothys are seamlessly knit using thread made from plastic water bottles, so they're ultra comfortable as soon as you slip them on. Zero break-in. You know, people used to have to pay their servants to break in their shoes.
But no longer due to Rothys. An editor at Yahoo recently called these the most comfortable flat they've ever owned.
Also, you'll quickly discover why BuzzFeed called them their forever shoes.
Honestly, get these shoes. They look good on Natasha, and they're super comfortable. She tells me I've never worn them. Go to rothys.com/honeymoon to get your new favorite flats.
Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/honeymoon. And comfort, style, sustainability, these are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/honeymoon today.
Speaking of coronavirus, our next call is in the city of Seattle, Washington, the American epicenter of the virus. And we're going to call Kai and Lily.
Hello.
Hey. Lily?
Hi. Yeah.
You can
Lily,
turn it.
hi. It's Moshe Kasher.
And Natasha Leggero.
And this is my podcast.
Gosh, so exciting.
We're excited as well.
You sound pretty chill.
Yeah, for being in Seattle. We would think everybody in Seattle was living in like World War
Well,
Z.
the world's on fire.
Yeah.
I'm sipping quarantini right now, just trying to survive in these streets.
So can you just tell us in Seattle, what is the situation?
I thought Quarantini was a town in Italy that's on lockdown right now.
No, it's a drink that's going around
Oh,
Facebook.
right. What do you have? I'll have the espresso Quarantini, please.
Well, all public and private schools, they're closed until like mid-April. So about like 6 weeks. And
Can you go to can you go to restaurants and bars?
I am not sure, honestly. I thought it was the case, but I've been following a lot of restaurants that have decided to close.
Wait, but you don't have a city mandated shutdown of all your restaurants yet?
No, I'm not sure.
We do. How
Yeah?
how are we ahead of the curve of you guys? You guys have it more seriously than us.
Our mayor kind of like maybe is
He's
scared.
just a hippie. No.
All right. Well, hey, listen. I mean, it's kind of cool in a way because they say like Seattle is the suicide capital of America. Like, I bet a lot of people are kind of stoked, kind of going out to bars, licking the rim of glasses and stuff like that.
Yeah, just end it.
Yeah, end it now. Well, before you end it, is Kai with you or is it just you?
He is. He's doing some dishes right now.
Oh, there you go, Lillian, a liberated woman. That's what we like to hear. Well, will you tell us why you called?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I hate to be one of those annoying people, but we really don't have too many issues in our relationship, but we do have we are asking some advice of you. Our relationship is a little unorthodox for most straight people in the fact that I am a steep 5'11",
Okay.
and Kai is 5'1.5", 5'2".
Whoa, that is a tiny. Is Kai?
He's a tiny
Wait,
man.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a
your
tiny man.
issue?
Well, hold on, we
No,
haven't heard
no.
it yet.
Oh, okay.
But
We're okay with we're totally fine with our height difference.
Wait,
but
Lily,
random
can
people on the street,
can I cut you off here and say that your height differential is literally exactly the same as our height differential, except
Me and yours?
yeah, except that we're more kind of square, so we adhere to gender norms. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm the 5'11" one, and she's the 5'1" one.
feels good, right?
Oh yeah, it's nice to tower over a partner. Absolutely. So what you're saying? People harass you about it?
Yeah. We were in Seattle one time, and this woman, we were walking down the street holding hands, and this woman came up to us and she said, "Oh, it's so nice to see couples like you walking around these days. It really warms my heart." Like, what the fuck does that mean?
What do you think she did mean? Like back in the day, that it was
Like, it's because we're interracial or because I'm towering over him.
Wait, are you interracial?
Yes.
It's
Kai
gotta be.
Maybe.
Gotta be that.
Definitely not about the height.
I mean, that would be, you want it to be about the height. You want there to be people in the world that go, you know, when I was young, tall women and short men just never fucked. But nowadays, things have changed. I love this new world. But I'm sure she was
So
making
glad
a weird
this is
racial
super
comment.
kosher.
What's
Yeah.
that?
So glad this is super kosher now.
Yeah. So, okay. So, what else have you heard?
I've definitely had I had a supervisor at work just straight up say, "How does the sex work?"
How does
To which I
what?
replied, "Just like anybody else,
Oh.
the sex."
Oh,
right.
that's, and you thought that was a bad question, right?
I've never had anyone ask me that.
Well, I was just about to ask you, how does the sex work, by the way? I'm kidding.
Dude,
It's
by the
great.
way, I'm 4'11". I've dated people who are 6'3".
But it is different
It's not.
in the cultural stigma of the world when it's a man
I hear you,
versus
but
a woman.
sex is still a puzzle.
Yeah, right.
So it's like you can't like fuck up against a wall as much, or maybe you actually could fuck up against a wall more.
Well, yeah, that's a good
You'd
question.
be surprised, Sasha. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, fucking up against a wall does seem like it would require some sort of like booster or Apple box or something like that. No?
I know there's positions I want to get into that I'm sometimes like too short, or like, like you want to like be able to have your, I don't know. I just think you can get like more creative
no,
probably when there's like a big difference.
Natasha has an issue that her biggest sexual fantasy is that I fuck her while she's dunking a basketball on a regulation hoop. And she just can't get up there. She can't do it.
I would recommend a step ladder, maybe.
Does Kai ever wear those like those cool Burning Man like stilts that have some bounce to them? That might be something you guys could do when you go out about town. He could wear some like fun stilts. That would kind of.
I'll check on Etsy.
Yeah. I think that would reduce some of the awkwardness for you guys getting comments in the streets. Is like if he was wearing stilts, nobody would say anything. They'd be like, "This is normal."
So it sounds like you have like a pretty good relationship.
We do. We joke about it a lot, and I don't know. It's just like I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I just look at the person, and we have a great time together.
Also, it must be kind of nice to know if you ever need to, you could just beat his ass.
Also, these quarantine times are funny because it's like, aren't you glad you're not just with the hot guy?
Wait, he might be hot? What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying she's like...
He's super hot.
Right, but you're like, I don't care about like exactly the right height for me or like physical stuff, right?
I don't know.
I thought she was saying like, I don't care about physical stuff.
You dug this hole. I wasn't in there with you.
Well, I'm just saying it's nice to be with someone you really connect with.
Sure.
Instead of just someone who like, people think is who you should be with.
But it would be nice, Lily, to have somebody in your life that you can make eye contact with. I'm kidding. Listen, Lily.
Wait, I have a question for Lily.
Yeah?
You live in Seattle. Do you know anybody with the coronavirus?
Wait,
I just want to know.
This is so much more interesting.
I just want to know.
All right, Lily, you can answer that question.
I don't currently know anyone with coronavirus.
That is good news. Okay, take it away, Moshe. I feel good now because I feel like our mayor is doing something more aggressive than Seattle, the hotbed of it, is doing. So that makes me think that we're learning from Seattle's mistakes. But even if she doesn't know anyone who's died from it, that's hopeful.
Well, yeah, Lily, Kai, we thought we were calling both of you. Is Kai not on the call because you physically wouldn't allow him to be on it?
No, I'm right here. Hello.
Oh, hi, Kai. What's up? We've been talking about you while you've been away. Hey,
And I didn't mean to say you weren't hot. I just meant to say I thought she was implying that, she loves you because she loves you. It doesn't have to do with anything else.
Now, Kai, what is the most awkward thing that you remember having heard a comment from a stranger in the street about your height differential?
Honestly, I think it was that same one. We were just like walking down one of the like main streets in downtown Seattle near Pioneer Square, and we just like walk in, and this lady just like walked up in front of us, like kind of stopped us from walking further down the street, and was like and said that comment. And it's just like it was kind of jarring, but it was like really funny at the same time.
Yeah, I love it when people are so outrageous you can't even be offended. You're like it moves past being offended into like what the fuck just happened.
That's amazing. Were they Southern? I feel like Southerners are like that sometimes.
Or just old, right?
Yeah.
Kai,
No, she was
like old lady.
She was super old.
Kai, did you think it was about? Do you think it was about your height, or did you think it was about interracial dating?
I don't know.
I don't even know if it was about either of those. I would assume it was height because she was like sizing us up, but like it kind of confused about everything.
Kai, have you always dated tall women, or were you like intimidated by the height differential when you and Lily first started dating?
I mean, I'm definitely all over the spectrum for that, but
Right.
I was definitely intimidated right at first. Yeah.
Is Lily the tallest woman you've ever dated?
Oh yeah.
Because 5'11's not just.
I'm a big bit. What can I say?
That's what I was about to say. No, but tall 5'11 is not just tall for a 5'1" man. It's tall, period. That's a tall woman.
Yeah.
Can you dunk a basketball?
It was funny. I did not play basketball. I played rugby in college.
Sure.
Go Vikings.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say that too.
No, it was funny. The first day that we met, I had asked one of my friends, like, oh, who's that guy? He's really cute. And she freaked out. She was like, oh my God, that's Kai. You have to date him. And I was like, what? She said, oh, he's so nice. He's such a gentleman. he's so cute. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, why is he still single? And she's like, he's fucking short.
She wanted you to get together with Kai because she was like, this would be awesome. This is going to look so cool. It's like American
This is, like,
Pastoral in
so
reverse.
freaky. No, it's been great.
Well, good.
I would recommend it.
Well, listen, you guys seem like you're in a very good shape as a couple. And just as we say goodbye, you didn't have anything more specific than that, right? You just wanted to talk about that?
I just wanted to ask you guys for any advice or one-liners to say to people if they like how to make other people uncomfortable
Oh, I
in
like
an
this.
uncomfortable situation. Like, do you have anything that we could respond
Yes.
with if people are like, oh my God, how does this work for you two?
Oh,
Or,
I love
"That's
that.
strange, isn't it?"
Oh, I really love that. I
You
love
have any
that.
ideas, Moshe?
I mean, I'm just off the top of my head. I like the idea that you say. You could say, actually, we were the same height when we started dating. There's something wrong with him.
Oh my God.
Something like that could be fun. Maybe you say, oh, that's my son. Actually, that seems kind of fun.
Don't talk near my son ever again.
You could say, we actually met. He was shot out of a cannon towards me. You got.
I always just say thanks, honey.
Oh yeah, that is funny. Or you, if you really want to just make them uncomfortable, you could say he fucks me like he's 6'8".
Or just say that dick is bomb though.
Yeah, you could say that most of the height is dick actually. I think we've given you a lot of free comedy writing stuff here, and I just want to say before we say goodbye that honestly, from the bottom of both of our hearts, it is so refreshing and beautiful to talk to a couple that looks like the two of you. I mean, it is so nice that we have come far enough to be able to talk to. I just remember when I was young. I never would have seen such a thing. You guys seem like you're awesome together. Have so much fun and so much good sex throwing each other
Thank
around
you.
the room.
It's been such a treat, such a dream. And you know what? I love you guys.
Well, we love you
Keep it up.
too.
We love you too.
We love you too. Don't get corona.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Protect the child.
Thank you. Those guys are sweet. I like them. And you know what?
Cool.
I got a shrimp in my life, and I love it.
I love it too.
I love it too. And you know what, Natasha?
What?
I love it.
I love it too.